Look at all the bees. Good morning. This is Sweet Mandolyns Urban Farm here in Peoria, Arizona on November 7th, 2019. I just wanted to shoot this video for myself and to share. It's what we're growing. What's growing on right now. Temperatures are still in the 80s here, and it's been absolutely thriving, everything we got going on. What you're looking right now is Luffa Gourd, which I planted at the base of my tree here, my non-fruiting pear tree. Took over the tree. You see a Luffa Gourd right there. And I got some all the way up in the top of my tree growing too. You can see them up there. Those are just gonna wait till I let them dry out, and I'll take the ladder and go up there and harvest them. And in fact, I see a couple more way up there, and there's two more over here. But we'll harvest the sponges out of those, the loofah sponge. Mandy wants to make some organic soap, and we'll cut them into slices and sell them. But went across the sidewalk, took over my blackberry vine fence. Blackberry vines are right here. They're going a little dormant right now, but they're vining across there. There's some basil. I got an Anaheim chilies right here. There's some bell peppers. I think those are going to turn red. There's a couple down in there. This is my starfruit tree right there. I got another blackberry vine right there, but it's kind of short right now. Over down the ground there's some radishes and other things I just threw down there from my my sprout mix. So there's mostly radishes. It's right in front of my ferning asparagus, which will be cut down this winter, and then next spring will be year 3, so we'll be able to start harvesting the asparagus. And by seed, I have a whole bunch of these Roselle Hibiscus. These get a lot of shade, so they're just barely starting to bud and flower, but I got a whole bunch more I'll show you in a minute. This right here is my long gone tree, which is doing really good right here. Long gone is a subtropical fruit or tropical fruit that grows like in Southeast Asia. I got some cabbage seedlings popping up here and in my pot. Volunteer cilantro. Now I'll go show you what's growing on the other side of the house. This is the north side of my house, a little hideaway here. It gets lots of shade most of the year. So things that will grow in the shade, like my lychee tree right here, which is similar to a longan, but has like a translucent, clearish white fruit. Really good. My baby turmeric should be doing fine now it's rooted. This is my plumeria. It's already bloomed twice. Really nice. Some elephant ear and some canna lily. Kayla lily. Yeah, I got the canna in front. Those are a bunch of green pepper sprouts that just popped up from all my kitchen compost. This is our backyard project that's still in the works. We just laid some travertine, getting ready to finish that today. I'm going to finish it right here and finish all this in there. Eventually go all the way over to the shed. We got the fire pit in here, some seating. Back wall, I have ordered 6 grapevines and a couple of fruiting trees for the edges. Over there is my neem tree, which is a medicinal tree. They actually use the neem oil at like Home Depot. You can buy neem oil, which is a bug repellent. But really nice, beautiful shade tree that you can make using your teas from medicinal. This one, it's doing all right. I think it just needs to get its roots established. It was just planted a couple months ago. This is my Jabuticaba. I call them Jaba. It's a Brazilian grape which grows on the trunks of the trees. So if you want to look it up, look up Jabuticaba. This is my fruit punch mango. Threw a little nitrogen fixing beans in there, some dragon tongue beans and fava beans. Over here we got our mulberries, a Pakistani, which I already trimmed up. I've been trimming a lot because these grow so vigorously. This is a Everbearing Mulberry over there. That was another Everbearing Mulberry that I started from a cutting from this mama tree. I planted a Moringa seed here back in, was it June? I planted the seed. It's already 7 feet tall. These are my Kubota Melons, or the Japanese pumpkins. Very good squash, especially when you roast them. I transplanted some of my papayas right here along the shed. There's about 4 of them that'll be growing here. They're Hawaiian papayas. I started that from seed. Threw a couple of cuttings from my Okinawa purple sweet potatoes over here just to give me some living mulch and some more potatoes. And this is my construction zone. This is zone 2. Only zone 1, the front yard, is complete. Zone 2 and 3 are a work in progress. When we get rid of all this rock, all this rock will be moved into our pond, which we'll be starting in January. And that's why the pool is drained, and we're going to start filling part of it. All that river rock will be used as a part of the pond with the waterfall and fish and plant life, closed ecosystem. But here we got something I use almost on a daily basis. This is my lemongrass. Make a lot of lemongrass tea. I got a couple of Waddell pear here, grafted from a mother tree over in the Waddell farm in West Phoenix. Some more Roselle Hibiscus. They're just growing everywhere here. Starting to flower. And then we'll harvest these calyx after the flower's done blooming. We can harvest these red calyx, and you can make jelly out of them, or dry them, or even use them fresh to make your Roselle tea. It's a really beautiful, flavorful tea that you can make, and really nice in the Christmas time since it's red. And in my raised beds, I only had a couple of my watermelon seeds that I planted, like a golden nugget, which is a pink flesh, but there's also another one that's a yellow flesh. But they're just taking over right now. And I noticed about 5 watermelon in here. This one's getting close to getting ready, but that's a nice size one. Once it turns tan, it'll be ready. And there's some sugar snap peas popping through my chicken wire. I've been eating some strawberries down there. This is a bunch of potatoes that are coming up. I just found some old potatoes and threw them in the ground, and they're growing nicely. Got some beets here, and below the beets, what did I put down there? I can't remember. But there's some seedlings coming up. I think that's just radishes. I can't remember what I put down there. Over here we got our artichokes thriving. I planted those in the springtime, but they were pretty much covered out by my squash. Cut out the squash, and then now they just took over there. Planted this back in March. This is a strawberry fig. So it's a green fig with a strawberry jam-like texture, really sweet fig that was about 4 inches when I planted it. You can see now it's getting pretty large. I've been cutting it back drastically. I actually took a cutting and rooted a couple of cuttings, so I got some more trees from that. These are my dragon tongue beans. very good tasting. They're very cool looking too. They're kind of like a variegated green and purple. I've been picking lots of those lately. There's some green onions growing there. More sugar snap peas and potatoes, and got some carrots started. I think I'm gonna cut that back. That was my Chinese spinach. Grows good in the heat as a summer spinach, but that's a amaranth. All this is my sugar cane, which I want to get a sugar cane juicer next year so we can start juicing these things, and using the pulp as really good mulch. I've been picking tons of cucumbers. I'm gonna make some pickles today, but lots of cucumbers. I got probably about 15 of them in the kitchen right now. But what I'm really excited about is I planted these Mexican sour gherkin cucumbers. These little tiny leaves and these very, very tiny flowers. Very tiny flowers. And these very tiny cucumbers that they produce. But they're called Mexican sour gherkin, and they're supposed to taste like a pickle. And they will only get about as big as my pinky. So they won't be very big, but they taste like a pickle. So I just did that as a novelty. Bunch of peppers, different types of peppers in here. I've been picking peppers. My garlic chives, more beans. And because I fell in love with these, I gotta plant them all the time. My grandmother used to always grow kohlrabi. So this is my green kohlrabi. I also had some purple kohlrabi, but I just love kohlrabi. Can't find those in the store. And over there I got my bamboo, which has already got its first big cane. It's nice and rooted already over the summer. So now I got my first clumping bamboo, so it's not going to go past the area that it's been planted in. It only has about 3-foot radius on the root system for clumping bamboo, but my bamboo will be enough to shade this side of the house next summer. More Roselle Hibiscus over there. I just planted those all by seeds. There's some more over here. A bunch of them here get more sun, so there's lots of flowers on these. This over here is my baby pecan tree. I have another one in the front yard. I'm gonna put another moringa there to start. It'll be my shade for my area right here, because I need shade protection for, like, this one's been struggling through the summer. Hopefully it'll come back. This is a cherimoya, which is popular in Ecuador. This is my Arizona Aravaipa avocado, and my Zutano type B avocado, which will be a cross-pollinator for the type A. Back there is my larger star fruit. And I planted this moringa tree by seed back in June, and it's already 10 feet tall. This will be my shade for my avocado next summer. They'll need shade protection for the first 3 years, and then they'll grow into the full sun as they get acclimated. All these are my cowpeas. They're all, I gotta harvest these. I've been collecting the beans for dried beans so we can make some frijoles or some bean soup with ham hocks. Going to the front yard. This is my Goldfinger banana. It was like 4 inches tall when I planted it back in March. Now it's 7 feet tall. I've already taken 2 of its pups and planted them somewhere else. Oh, this is my moringa. It's a 1.5 years old from seed, 2 of them. I harvest this constantly. I'm always harvesting the leaves and drying them, adding them to my food and to my smoothies, giving some away, selling some of the fresh leaves to the Filipinos that work for their soups, eating the pods in my soup. All these are just volunteer. I don't even know what they are. They're probably a watermelon. But I like to let stuff grow so I can use it as mulch. Over here we got a pineapple. Over there is my seedling mango, which is a Mandy mango because I grew it from seed. So it's my mango tree that I started from a seed of a really good mango that I had. Over here is my golden Dorsett apple tree right next to my Anna apple. They are planted in the same hole pretty much, about 2.5 feet apart. And they will be pruned heavily every year, twice a year, so they don't have the branches going into each other, but they'll cross-pollinate each other. They'll act as one tree with two different types of apples. I always try to find some place to plant something, so I got some green onions started here by seed. This is my Meyer lemon tree, starting to get lots of new growth. It's been established now since it's got its root structure about a year now in the ground. It's my my Bear's lime right next to it. So we're gonna keep these probably no bigger than 8 feet tall. I'm gonna just make sure everything's pretty much as a hedge along this western side of my house. All these are pumpkin vines growing everywhere. You can see we got some pumpkins ready for making pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving. This is my early amber peach. This is a Santa Rosa plum, and I have a sweet tree blueberry, which is a cross between a plum and a cherry, that I'll be planting probably over closer to the house. That will cross-pollinate that. This is my Valencia orange. Tons of new growth in the past couple months, so its roots are established. This is my Thai basil, always fluttering with bees. Really good for stir fries. And it's right next to my strawberry tree, my Jamaican cherry. I've been starting to eat the cherries off of here. They call it the strawberry tree because the flowers look like strawberry flowers, but they produce these cherries, and I've been starting to eat them. To me they taste like Captain Crunch berries. So if you like Captain Crunch berries, then kids love these fruit. And there's another pumpkin. More sweet potatoes, and there's my pecan tree. And I pan over here and you can see this is Duchess, my Royal Ponciana, yellow flower. It's going to be a beautiful tree once it grows up. It was froze back when I planted it, so I cut the top of it off. This is how tall it was, right here. I cut it right here back in March because this was froze off, and I'm letting one of the branches be the new leader. So pulling it up to be the new leader to grow up. But you can see how much growth is put on since it was this size in March. It's 5 times the diameter, maybe 6 times the diameter it once was when I planted it. So it's doing really well. Got some garden chilies here. These are really good when they turn red. I got a whole bunch of them here. When they turn red like this. This is the one they use if they pickle them, ferment them, and then you use the fermented chilies to make sriracha sauce on these garden chilies. Here's some more Roselle Hibiscus. It's kind of taken over my Florida Prince peach, but it's going to start going dormant. It's losing its leaves now since we've had a couple days in the 30s already. But right now it's upper 50s again. Nice warm November. Now this I can smell in my whole yard. Bees are just buzzing around this thing with all these flowers. This is my sweet almond bush. All these flowers have a really fragrant vanilla honey scent. And I came in here last night and it's just amazing how dense the smell was. It smelled so good in my yard. This area under my my palm, my Canary Island date palm, unedible dates for us, and only the birds eat them. But provides a nice tropical look from my flower garden. All those marigolds are I only had a 6-pack I planted in the spring. 3 over there and 3 over here, and then I just started taking the dead flower seeds and just throwing them, scattering them around there, and all these marigolds popped up to create me a fall garden, flower garden carpeting. These are all my canna. And actually these flowers I've been eating, the flowers are edible, really good in salads and give you some color in your salads. So I got the red, the orange, the yellows. These big monsters, when they bloom, they fall to the ground because they're so huge. Caladiums, beautiful flower though. Just planted some nasturtiums. I need to plant something in the middle there. It's kind of bare. Oh, there's my daylily. They'll be blooming in the springtime. Entryway, starting to get it organized with the shrubs, a few flowers, more Okinawan purple sweet potatoes. And over here is the king, Duke, the Royal Poinciana. Very tropical. These grow in Hawaii, Florida, the tropics. Doesn't like the cold, so it's in the hottest part of my yard. But very beautiful tree. It was just a stick when I planted it a few months ago. Underneath this giant monster here, this is a siso tree. I'm using it as a microclimate for a lot of my tropicals, but in the front I have some guava. Oh, my guava's flowering. Look at that. Maybe it'll give me some fruit. This is a white Asian guava. It's been getting lots of new growth, and just like I said, it's starting to flower. Oh, I got the watermelon. That's a yellow flesh watermelon at the base of it. There's a pomegranate. And this is a pink guava. Lots of new growth. Looks like it's getting well established. It'll get lots of winter sun. Well, hopefully this one will do okay. That's my white jade pineapple. I think it just got too cold. It'll come back in the spring. These are my Surinam cherry bushes. I'm gonna try to train these to be a hedge right here. Behind there I got my basil. That's where I am weekly harvesting my basil for my pesto. I like to make a lot of bruschetta. This is my coconut cream mango. It's getting some new growth on it. This is the ice cream mango. You can tell the difference in the leaves. Got some caladiums coming up here. Died back when it got real hot, and then it came back when it cooled off. These are those pups I told you about from my banana. So it's a Goldfinger banana. They're kind of a semi-dwarf. They'll be only about 10 feet tall. This here is a sugar apple. So it'll grow with very little light because it grows in the canopy of the tropical rainforest. But it's part of the Anemoia family. This is my... No, it's not marijuana. This is what is it called? It's the Yucca Root. Cassava is the plant. You can eat the leaves or cook the leaves, but you mainly want to harvest the Yucca Root. And the Yucca Root you can make into a flour. You can eat as a potato. You got to cook them because there's a little bit of cyanide in them, so you got to cook them to cook all the cyanide out. But they use this to make tapioca, the root. That's what that's for. I know it's a mess right here. I just trimmed my tree. I got to chip all the wood down. I got a wood chipper. And over here we have my pomegranate hedge. These are my baby pomegranates. Eastern Europe pomegranate. I forgot the name. It's an Eastern Europe name. But three close together. This is going to be like a 7-foot hedge right there. Same with my Barbados cherry. Barbados will give me tons and tons of cherries in the next couple years. I should start getting a lot of fruit. It's been flowering, but I've only had the 2 cherries so far off of here. But it takes a while to get established. So that's what I got here. That's my documentation. Have a good day.